Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. There is new content over there. Follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram, he's at Anonymous Reality Tea. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes, and coming or going, hit the like button. So today we're talking David Banner. You know, stunting is a habit. Get like me. That David Banner. Sorry, guys. Sorry. So we are talking, though, for real in this video, because David Banner was recently on Club Shay Shay. I haven't had time to sit through the 2.5 hours of whatever he was talking about with Club Shay Shay. Didn't have time. But he is making the headlines, he is making the blogs, because David Banner made a comment that he refuses to do business with men who cheat. And we're going to talk about it because there are some people who have some mixed reviews to this commentary. And somebody was bringing up, oh, but you worked with T.I. You worked with T.I. and T.I.'s personal life is da-da-da-da-da. Well, to be fair, when did David Banner work with T.I.? And when did this, alleged, proclamation and things come to be, when he made the determination at some point forward on who his type of clientele was going to be, right? So during an interview with Shannon Sharpe on his podcast, Club Shay Shay, Banner recounts a conversation with a mentor, and he shares that a piece of advice that was given to him that has been with him to this day. So this is coming from the mentor himself. And the mentor said, I don't do business with men that cheat on their wives, is what he said to Shannon Sharpe. And I said, huh? And the mentor said, he told me that if the person that you sleep with can't trust you, I bleep sure can't trust you. And I never thought about that. So this is sparking all types of reactions from people. So there's somebody, this Sierra CEO with who is verified with the blue check, said this is long money talk. Why am I talking with the X? Long money talk. Successful people value peace and stability because it leads to more success in several different areas of life. It is strict at the top because there is a lot to lose. And another user said as well that I wish more people would flex about integrity. And then also, and it is getting a lot of reaction. And I can think of a lot of all these alleged cheaters that we hear about, you guys, whether it is athletes, whether it is actors, rappers, singers, you name it, right? Whomever, right? And they'll be in these big cheating scandals, right? But I find it interesting, though, because on one end, he's right that if your own spouse can't trust you, why should you go into business with somebody that could potentially be jeopardizing everything, all for a mistress, all for a side chick, and everything else, right? But it's interesting because the public cheating scandals that we see with a lot of these multimillionaires, it doesn't seem to take a hit for them. What ends up happening 9 times out of 10 is even if they get a divorce, even if they end up with the mistress, it's all well and good in the hood, right? The problem seems to be is if they get SA allegations, if they get Me Too'd, then that's when you start to see, okay, well, maybe these brand deals will not work. Maybe this and that will not work. However, I want to speak to y'all who are, of course, remember that show that came on OWN, right? That show that comes on OWN, right? Love Marriage Huntsville. And remember Chris Fletcher, who did real estate and everything else, right? Remember, he said to Martell that they were supposed to have that big contract. They're supposed to have that big 40-acre deal and everything else. And he ended up wanting to move forward with Mel instead. However, because Martell, everything that happened with the cheating scandal, everything that happened with the mistress trying to be seen and everything else, it caused all these problems. It caused all these issues, y'all. And so nonetheless, they didn't want to work with him because they felt that it showed lack of character, lack of integrity, lack of, trying to present yourself a certain way and doing all of this and doing all of that, right? And so it's interesting because it's like, I feel like people pick and choose when they want that to be their, this is going to be my deal breaker, right? I'm not going to work with you if you cheat on your spouse. But that's not the case across the board. It seems as though, at least what we see publicly we see a lot of these businesses, a lot of these brands will still work with these men, even if they've cheated on their spouse or significant other, or have even had a cheating scandal. But they seem to draw the line when there's SA allegations. And even some of them still work with them, even having SA allegations. But then you wait and see if it goes to a trial, if there is a lawsuit involved, if multiple women come forward. Then that's when it's like, okay, we can no longer be in business with you. You need to take time away from the company. You need to take a leave of absence. You need to get your lawsuit sorted out first. You need to get your trial sorted out first before we decide whether or not we want to move forward with you. However, in the meantime, you got to step down. Perfect example of this is Shannon Sharpe. Look at what happened with Shannon Sharpe, y'all. He blew up, remember he previously was on Fox Sports. Contract negotiations or whatever didn't go well. They didn't renew his contract and he was done, right? And it sounded like he might have been scapegoated out of there. We didn't know back then that there might have been some other stuff going on behind the scenes, right? Then he takes his talents to YouTube. Takes off with Club Shay Shay. The Cat Williams interview takes him into a whole nother stratosphere. His YouTube platform blows up. Next thing you know, he also has another YouTube platform on Nightcap that he has with Chad Ochocinco, right? Another person whose career basically went kaput after the DV allegations with the headbutting incident with Evelyn Lozada from Basketball Wives. Oh, next thing you know, career is done, right? Next thing you know, you guys, first we have, Shannon Sharpe is doing his thing. We have some openings at ESPN, even though they're giving Stephen A. Smith all the money. Next thing you'll know, after some time, I'm guessing after Shannon Sharpe's non-compete is over, it's announced he's on ESPN, right? And remember, you guys, remember the first scandal Shannon Sharpe had with ESPN. Remember that SEX tape where it sounded like you were on the Instagram Live and it sounded like SEX was happening? Remember all of that? And remember, he was able to apologize and smooth that over and try to lie and say he was hacked and try to lie and say he unknowingly knew that he was on live. But apparently, you have to go through several steps to confirm the live and all of this and all of that. So you can't just randomly be on live like you knew what you were doing type of thing. Remember that? And ESPN was like, all right, cool. Cool, right? So then there's rumors again that he is up for a negotiating deal with a big, renegotiating his podcast, right? I think it was going to be upwards of 100 million or 150 million or something like that because of how big and how successful. And remember, on his YouTube, you would see the icons for all of his sponsors. He would have DraftKings, he would have Boost Mobile, he would have all of these companies, you guys. And then it got to a point on Nightcap where instead of getting into the video, you're spending the first 10 to 15 minutes just talking about all your sponsors. And even you were doing a sponsor to capitalize off of the drama that happened with that SEX tape. Now you're talking about some type of performance enhancement for the SEX, right? Remember all of that. Then what happens? Boom. We hear about a lawsuit. We hear about a lawsuit that Shannon Sharpe is being sued, y'all. And that there is all types of allegations and it's bad. And so Shannon Sharpe is like, listen, looky here, instead of being quiet and fighting this quietly, he's like, no, I'm going to be aggressive. And I am going to release text messages to let y'all know that I'm not the bad guy here. This is consensual SEX. Nobody's going to come after me. Nobody's getting a dime. And exposes Jane Doe in the process. And so he thought that by doing this, that he was going to, put her business out there. People were going to be like, oh, she's OnlyFans, and try to shame her. But then her people responded and was like, we're going to release audio. And the audio was what put Shannon Sharpe done for. Because it really just made things 100 times worse. And it was disgusting and it was filthy. You work for Disney. You work for Disney. You can't be having these types of conversations and this types of stuff leaked out to the public. No. So nonetheless, this created all this backlash. Stephen A. Smith is trying to get in front of it, even though he knew what was going to happen because he is their company man. And so eventually, basically, they first tried to get in front of it. Shannon Sharpe tried to make it seem like he wasn't going to go anywhere, nothing was going to happen. But then he had to make the announcement that he was stepping down. And then he had to make the announcement later on, like about a month or two later, that the podcast tour the summer that him and Shannon Sharpe, or him and Chad Ochocinco were supposed to do, is canceled. And now when you watch Nightcap, y'all, you see the Boost Mobile LED sign covered up by a Bengals jersey. You'll see the DraftKings icon is nowhere to be found. The 5 to 10 minutes of ads at the beginning of the video is nowhere to be found. Everybody has disappeared. So cheating, I think it depends on the spaces, because it seems like not everybody has that same level of discernment to not work with somebody who's cheated on their significant other. But definitely, if you get hit with any type of Me Too or SA lawsuit or going to trial or anything like that, or you get arrested for that or anything in that realm, they shy away immediately. They shy away immediately. They end your deals immediately, and everything else. But for cheating, it depends on the business, right? So that was the advice from David Banner. And again, like I said, the people who are calling him a hypocrite, maybe they didn't understand the context that this is what a friend told him, and not necessarily that David Banner is implementing this on a regular schmegular basis. But I just wanted to have that conversation and wonder what y'all thought about this. I mean, I would think yes, obviously, if somebody is cheating on their spouse and disrespecting their family, do they have the discernment to also be paying attention to what's going on in business, that in the event the mistress one day decides to blow up the scandal, to blow up the cheating, if something doesn't go her way, or she doesn't receive whatever accommodations, that could blow up your whole spot, and then you're in business with that person, and that blows up your whole spot as well by extension. Like, how far does this go? Right? So nonetheless, there is that, and that is all for this video. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.